All right, today I wanted to make a video about the small fly rig that I've made. I put together. I've seen quite a few people that have shown their, smaller units. People call it fly rig. I think it originates from back when you basically needed to put things in your overhead compartment of a plane. I think it's a bit more difficult these days, but I think something like this would definitely fit in a small trolley. So, I would say it definitely fits that description. I use it quite a bit to do gigs in central London. And I think if you live in a big city or if you need to take the train and public transport, a lot of people don't drive. So this is a solution that works quite well, unless you want to go just with like one small pedal amp or something like that. But this is a solution that allows me to do many things. Let's say having two instruments like an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar. You can have I can self-monitor. I can monitor myself from the pedal board rather than if I'm wired, if the pack is wired, my in-ear monitoring pack is wired. Obviously, it has every sound that the big Helix has, but this is obviously smaller. And it has also more space, so I can have an external little pedal. I can have the expression pedal, which a lot of units don't have anymore these days. I'm not sure why. And also I have, let me actually just show you. So basically, this has 5 things. The guitar goes into the wireless, which is a Boss WL60. This is great. It's a great little unit, unless, I think I mentioned this in a video before, because it's only 2.8 gigs, which is like the Wi-Fi. Nowadays, if you are doing a gig with a lot of wireless packs and monitors and monitoring packs and microphones, I think nowadays those tend to run on that on the Wi-Fi bandwidth. So you might want to have something that runs on multiple channels and multiple bandwidths, like the 5.8. I think this next one, 2.4 gigs is that's the bandwidth. So you want something that has multiple bands, so to speak. But if you're just doing like small gigs or you just wanted to be free with the electric guitar, this is great. Then it goes into the Soul Press 2, the Tone Soul Press 2. Again, this is a great little unit. It does volume, it does wah pedal, and it does expression. At the moment, it's like a volume wah. So when you switch it on, is a wah pedal, and when you switch it off, is a volume pedal. And it has quite a bit of, quite a few switches here on the side, so you can tune in the wah sound that you want, which is great. So you don't have to take up blocks, so to speak, to do the same thing in the unit, in the Helix. Great size. This fits, the board is a Metro 16. It's a pedal tray Metro 16, which is, to me, this is just enough to fit everything. And I always want to fit the pedals so that they don't, I see a lot of people that put pedals that stick out quite a bit. I want to use the bags that come with, this fits the bag that comes with the Metro 16 and the hard case that comes with the Metro 16. So anything that is made for this pedal board will fit this setup. So that's the volume pedal. I have a 2 foot switches that go into the expression pedal, and that will act as either foot switch 7 and 8, or you can go, the way I use it, I go through patches, without having to go into the modes, like different modes of the Stomp XL. So even if I'm playing, I can go through different patches. Then obviously I go into the Stomp XL, and with this, actually, I can do many things. Because I have the HX effects as well, but that's an older unit, and I use it just for, the effects. This in terms of making different lines and making different, patching things in different ways. This is a lot more powerful for some reason. There's less DSP, but it's a lot more powerful in terms of how you route things, so to speak. So I can run 2 guitars if I want to. I can run an electric and an acoustic. I've made a patch for that. All these patches and the video links I can link them in the description, and I can monitor myself directly without going out of the headphones. Or sometimes another way that I monitor myself directly from pedalboard, I take a line from the through of the DI box and I patch it into in a monitor box that has two inputs. Like the Behringer, whatever you want to call it, P1. I think it's the P1, the one that has two inputs. But there are different. I think they started to make it more DI boxes. There's one. I can't remember the name. The name now. I will put a picture. There's one where you can self-monitor yourself, and it has a wireless pack. Because you probably could add that. Nowadays, they make really small units that you could add to onto the DI box. But that's a one all-in-one unit basically, and you can replace the DI box, and that turns into it basically is a DI box with an input, an aux input, and a wireless pack, so you can self-monitor yourself and mix two signals and hear yourself wirelessly, so to speak. But that usually works in smaller scenarios where your in-ear pack is wired, basically. Where if you have a scenario where your wireless pack is wireless, your in-ear monitor pack is wireless. Usually that's a scenario where you have stereo monitoring and you have side stage. You have a separate monitoring system from the front of house, so to speak. So that's usually you get a different feed from the front of house. So like whatever sound you've made is the sound that you have in your ears, so to speak. So the reason why sometimes I monitor myself from the pedal board is because I get the feed from the front of house, like the sound that the sound engineer has made. So I want to hear the sound that I have made mixed in with the rest of the band. So that's a better, because they remove a lot of bass, so to speak. The sound is great for the mix, for front of house mix, but not so great to play, so to speak. So I want to hear myself from the pedal board. And all these things that I've made, I made some patches where you can monitor yourself directly from the pedal board, and I will link that. I've also made some patches where you can use this system to send a signal from a send that will go into the DI box, and that will go front of house, where the output will go to your amp, or the other way around. You can have the output with the simulation go to the DI box, which is usually what I do, and the send to go to your amp to have the effects minus the simulation. So you can use this system to have to basically play an amp without the microphone. You will have the cab simulated, amp simulated signal to go to front of house with the DI box, and a signal just with the effects without, to go to your amp. So again, this is all done with this unit. And underneath the pedal board, I have a True Tone One Spot CS6, which is one of the few ones that fits under the pedal train Metro 16 and like Metro 20, like the Metro series, and powers everything. It powers the Line 6 units, and I can use a kettle lead, basically, which is called ICE, I think, IEC lead internationally. And I feel that this is a better solution than things like, there are a lot of modelers now that they have an external wall wart, like an adapter. I mean, it's okay, but those usually tend to fail. As a matter of fact, the one from the HX Effects that I had has failed, the adapter. And they tend to come, loose. They tend to, if somebody walks past and trips on the cable, these tend to be taped to the floor when you do gigs by the tech people, so to speak, by the stage people, where other stuff doesn't for some reason, and those tend to come loose quite easily. So, and they tend to break quite easily. So I find that this solution is a lot more, I want to call it professional, more a safer option, so to speak. Yeah. So again, this is my little setup that is quite a bit of like a Swiss Army knife. I feel that a lot of times, like you put together a pedal board and then you start adding pedals, removing pedals, and I have a separate pedal board for that with like individual pedals. Which you can still, as a DI box at the end, is a bigger version of this. But this basically allowed you to do everything you need. And from like, gigs that, as I said, the gigs that I do are from like small jazz gigs where I need effects, like modern jazz, let's call it that way, in a corner of a bar, to playing in a theater, to playing in bigger, larger venues. And this setup has always kind of worked. I've not felt the need to rejig this setup. The only thing, as I said, is this space here. I either have a wireless, another distortion pedal, another, and I can use a sound return on the unit on the HX effect if I need to. I can put a Tone X1. I can put many things here, but this is the first time actually I got to a point where I have a unit that I didn't feel the need to pull apart, so to speak. And it's probably, this costs less than getting a quad cortex. Obviously, it depends if you need the profile inside of things. But this is great. I've used it quite a bit in the last few months. And again, as I've seen a lot of people that make these kind of videos to do with, the fly rigs, I thought I'd make one as well to suggest my option. And as always, remember to check the description and pinned comment. I make patches for the Helix. Thanks again for all that downloaded and made a donation. And again, if you like these videos, it all helps, the channel if you share it through social media, like, subscribe, the usual stuff. I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers, and I'm very close. So if you subscribe, that would be great. I think about 90% of my viewers, because of the algorithm now, suggests the video to everybody, not just the people that are subscribed. If you could just do that, that would be great. And that's it for today. Thank you. Bye-bye.